Alright, let me play another game. Alright, I'm gonna continue with d4. You know what? Let's go play an e4 for a change. I'm doing this occasionally because I think it was Perk maybe who asked about. Was it Perk? I think it was Perk. Alright. I'm based on what we've been getting so far. I'd be surprised if we don't get a Roy Lopez. For some reason, it seems to be everybody's initial opening here. So kind of same as we've played, you know, knight c6, just bishop e5. It's the line I keep playing. You know, I could go like this, and then they could go like this, and we could end up in some Italian, whatever. But so that is a free pawn if I wanted, I guess, because I could take and then take this. So this, by the way, is a little bit of a weakening move here, because now they cannot kick my bishop out. Cornelius, sir, how you doing, man? It's prime content with Eagles. I play e4 occasionally. It's just I don't really go e4, e5, like if I'm black. But I play viewers on the Speedrun account when I'm at there though. So K9, I'm not actually sure yet. It's like it depends on the viewer, you know what I mean? But I probably won't. I'll probably just play in the rating pool, and people can try to snipe me, obviously. But yeah, on Croissant with the bishop. Let me continue. So even though I know this is not right, I would probably continue. I'm not sure. I'd probably be uberly aggressive here if I'm playing normally, but maybe I should just play the way I would recommend, which would just be the castle. But you know what? No, I'm gonna castle. I'm gonna. The whole goal here is, at least for a while, is to show that you don't have to do anything complicated. Just play safe. Try to work out what your opponent's up to. That also is, once again, not too wonderful, I believe. So the idea, should be relatively clear that they want to bring the bishop out this way. They bring it out this way, okay, that makes some sense. If they bring it out here, I mean, I'm not actually going to move this pawn yet. I don't want to move this pawn yet, even though it seems like a good idea, you know, maybe solidify this pawn, but a couple of reasons. One, it's not being attacked yet. And two, if they go if they go this way and any trade happens over here, maybe I want to reserve the right to go d3. So d4 is probably the move the computer will want, but I don't want to play it yet. So I'm actually just going to develop my knight. And maybe I'll go d3 at some stage. But I do, yeah, so they want to go that way. Now, I'm not going to take their bishop, probably. I'm undecided. Pros and cons. If I take their bishop, they have to take with the rook. I get the queen into the game quicker. So maybe getting the free tempo is worth it alone. Because then they have to move the rook back, or they have to guard with the queen, or with the knight technically, but that wouldn't be wise, I think. And if I go like this first, you know, maybe there's some 95 shenanigans, so 94, d4 shenanigans. You know, takes, they take, and then I guess I take, and they take my knight. It's just not worth calculating. I think simply I will take. It's just the safer thing, and my excuse here is just, this is just on an awkward square now. Now I don't have to worry about d3, d4, whatever. Here I have d4 right away too, but alright. I'm gonna just bring the queen in. Simple chess. Just attacking the piece that landed on that square and getting the queen off the back rank. At some stage I'm gonna need to do it anyway. So this is what I was talking about. I don't think this is right. They want to attack c2. And they're thinking that I can't take their rook right now. So let's calculate for it. Just a second. a3, knight c2, take on a6. They take my rook. Question I would have is, where is their knight going afterwards? Are they going to go back through c2? I mean, maybe. But I kind of feel like I'm going to be able to collect it afterwards. So after that, queen will be there. I could drop the queen back, for example. This is just simple. It's a simple little calculation. Or, I won't say simple, but just what I'm thinking of. Drop it back maybe to c4, b3, and bishop e2, and then the knight is just going to probably be lost, I think. So you know what? Let's not do that. Let's play more simple. I think this would be winning me a piece. But let's just do something else. Let's leave it up to them to blunder. I'm just going to protect. That does nothing at all, but if they take this, I'll take this. Anyway, the idea here was that I'm just going to play a3 now because they've defended a piece over here. It's a bit weird. Okay, so that's not even a move I was thinking about. Now, how can I defend this pawn? Well, and develop at the same time. I'm just going to go like this. Question is, do I have any tricks? I don't think so. I will simply develop by pushing a pawn. Probably this is a little bit weird of me. I probably should have gone for the other thing and allowed them to take on c2. I'm not sure if they would have. After a3, They kind of have to, actually, otherwise they'd be losing. All right, that's a interesting move too. I mean, I could still take this pawn. I'm just gonna go a3 though. I want to see what they get up to here. They have to either go here and lose this, or they have to go back. So I think they're gonna go back. Maybe I consider this move. I don't know. Doesn't really do much. Probably. Okay. Now, is f6 anything bad for them if I get them to play f6? Because probably they'll play f6 if I go bishop g5. I'm just deciding whether it's worth it or not. Nah. I can go like this. So I can go like this just to get their knight on a6, and then... Oh no, that doesn't make sense. That's their knight coming back there. Interesting posse. Maybe I will just bring this piece in a little bit. I don't think this is worth going for. You know what? I see one active piece. I'm gonna just trade it off. Why not? It might not be good. And they may also go 95. Sorry, knight d4. They're not going knight d4. This, I think, is an interesting moment because I feel like best move is probably to take with the queen, but I'm going to take with the pawn only considering they don't have a dark square bishop anymore, so I don't have to worry about the king being checked. And this knight is kind of running out of squares. It's going to have to come around. It's going to be very obvious to see when they try to do some stuff. And now it feels like it should be easier for me to attack. I'm also considering this, because if I trade off this active piece, then they have basically to go to e7. They have to go back there, which would be kind of sad for them. I will actually do this. This is one of those times where I think I'm okay trading, and after takes, if they move the knight backwards, I might just lock that pawn in there and it should be all gravy. We'll see. Key seems all fine. All right, this is a position where I'm not sure I want to trade. And honestly, I don't see any immediate threats from either side. What would I recommend doing in a position like this? Probably just see what's my worst piece and put it on a better square. I don't know. This guy's not doing so much here. I don't see much happening on this side of the board. And if he pushes, maybe I'll do something else. So even though it's very unlikely to happen, I might just line this up with his queen. Why not? Don't see any reason why not to. Okay, so they're going to play their own prophylaxis. They're going to go this. I don't think this is correct, though, if for some reason this bishop moves. Sorry, if the queen moves. I can bring this around to f5 now, because if they push this, it's not going to be wonderful. So in fact, I might actually do this. I could go g3. It's a bit of a weird move, but I might go g3 just to support the knight. And then that way, on my route to f5, if they move this, it won't be attacked. So you know what? Why not? Let's make Luft in a different way. Kind of like a bit of different Luft. Okay, so they just take. Maybe they see what I'm up to. I don't know. Who knows? So they're immediately attacking my pawn. Do I attack their pawn or do I defend my pawn? I think I defend it. I really don't see any reason not to defend it. And they're going to do that. Okay. It's interesting. I'm just deciding if I come around this way and get to f5 or if I just continue my path. The only reason I'd go around is just to see what they're up to. You know what? Let's just continue on. I'm not actually sure I'll trade it here because I don't really want to trade for their knight. I think my knight on f5 will obviously be crushing if I get it. I may even consider sacrificing an exchange. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to once again just really, really slowly play this. You know, rook f2, rook f1. It's not necessarily great. Their position's totally fine, by the way. Totally fine. And this is actually an older count too. I don't think there's anything suspicious here either. They're playing this definitely pretty well. Maybe I'll bring the queen in and try to trade. They got material still, by the way. I gotta be careful. I do actually think this knight would be better. I might see if they want to take the rook. Let's have a little fun with it. Let's have a little fun. I do also believe they want to get the queen in. I just think if knight takes, and then they go g6 or anything, I'll be able to collect this guy. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm going to go rook f1. But honestly, okay, that seems like a waste of a move, if I'm being completely real with you. Because after this, it's just giving me a nice little pawn diamond. So I get that with a tempo. They're going to have to move their queen back anyway. And then they can't take on b2. But maybe they won't see that. So, oh no, but they have a check, which does nothing, I think. So I'm gonna allow them to have the check. Their queen's gonna get a little bit stuck, I think. This guy's playing really, like, honestly pretty well. He's not made any blunders yet. Bring the rook in, all gravy. Simples. All right, so they are going to finally go for this. Idea is really just if they push, I'll have at least a pawn for the exchange, and I just think what I'm envisioning is something like this. Move next, depending on what they do, and maybe it'll be good for me, maybe it won't. I actually have to speed up a little bit here. I realize they've got 7 minutes and they're playing quite well. All right, I'm going to ignore this completely. Just because their pawn is pushed on this side of the board doesn't mean I can't continue with my plans. I think my plans are more important than a pawn if they decide to take. Kind of depends on what they see. If they take, I'll take. Okay, so they actually blundered the exchange back. No, they didn't. Jeez, Louise, man. All right. Interesting stuff, bro. This guy is not playing like a 500. I'm playing pretty well. Pretty well. I have to come up with something here. I think I have to treat this game a little bit more seriously. Very nice. For all I know, they're watching the stream, so actually I'm not going to say too many more of my ideas until after the game. But I will just lock this guy in. Put him in there. This is still going to be fine for white, even though I'm down in exchange. In my opinion. At any moment, I could just take another pawn. And I could drop back, so we'll see. This is still actually quite a nice position, I think. I see lots of potentials. But I will wait for them to make their moves before I discuss what I'm up to. Okay. I'm actually just going to take the open file. Well, not the open file, but I'm going to try to control this semi-open file. Simply for the reason that it is just a nice potential opening for in the future, depending on what they do. I do feel like they were probably considering pushing the c-pawn at some stage. I'm not quite sure why they played this otherwise. Maybe they're trying to defend laterally if it opens up too. That's interesting. I'm gonna play a slow move. I'm kind of curious what they're doing. Very interesting. Okay, that's an interesting move too. I might just stop them from pushing now. I have some moves I'll probably play in a second if they just, you know, see what they do. So this is kind of like, I've given up an exchange, knowing that a knight on f5 is just so great. It's just a great square. So now I'm going to go here. I'm just going to see what they want to do. Yes, analysis will definitely be interesting on this one. Because they're playing well above their rating, for sure. But, you know, like, I feel like at least a few hundred elos. Then again, who knows? I could be wrong. I could be playing this badly, but it just looks like they don't have too many moves. There are some things they could probably do, but I'm not going to say. All right. So now the question is, do I take this and drop back, or do I take it and take the exchange? So it depends on where they go. I will probably actually just drop back. I'm not actually sure. I really like this. So I could take this, and then after queen takes there, I'll be up a couple points of material, and maybe I just go for that. I don't see how they do anything. I think I just bring in the king. I probably win. I also have this move. Do I go for it or not? This could lose me the game. No, I won't go for it, but I'll check afterwards. I'm kind of curious. Let's force this off. All right, I got, less than a minute to win this game. I think I still can do it. I have a feeling b6 was just completely crushing. But since I don't know, we'll come back to it. Let's get the king in. Move some, okay, so they trying to do that. Okay, I'm not actually sure if this is bad for me or not. I don't think so. Depends if they can beat me in this 4-minute period. They just give me a pawn. I'll take it. I think they just don't know what to do. I'm gonna go there. Eventually I'm gonna get this. I think they're gonna get mated over here. Probably like this. Be mate in one if they... Alright, GG's. They played well. They played honestly really well. Let's check. I wonder what their peak rapid is, because they played better than a 500. Or 500s really are just this strong these days. I'm not quite sure. Could be either or. Okay, so apparently I have a feeling this is probably where I dipped. Probably giving the exchange up. But once I had some of those squares locked down, it was not so easy for them. Mustaf, hello. Yeah, sleeping, bro. I'm not sure if it was that they were just pushing pieces. I feel like it was hard to make a plan kind of when I had those like that nice little light square bind. We'll see. Knight on f5 is always good though. Well, not always. So this film to me felt a little strange, but I guess it's still okay. All right, so they went for this. I definitely could have gone for some other things here. Yes, so what I was considering here was actually just going a3, knight c2, if this is assuming they went for this, of course. Takes and takes. And let me just see the eval. Yes, so that's what I kind of thought. And I was considering queen c4 or queen d2, sorry, d3, but it would have had to be in this actually. Yeah, so actually just simply after this, and then idea being basically just this, I think it was. Oh, no, but they had this. I actually didn't calculate this. Maybe I would have probably not calculated this correct. Interesting. I just thought I'd be able to win this after something like this, but yeah, clearly not. But they have to find some of those moves. Oh, I guess that's why it's saying this, because then the knight. No, that's wrong. Is it? No. Anyway, it was still winning. Still winning. Here, I only traded this. I just thought we'll trade off their one active bishop. And a lot of the times in these structures, like, people get queens over here. And when there's like something like this and this, sometimes they get this nice, sorry, the nice check, if you know what I mean, where the pawn is pinned or a piece is over here and it gets, sorry, a piece might be over here and it gets taken. Not when there's a pawn on h2 though. All right. I didn't think this was necessarily the best move either, but I figured I'd just go for it. Apparently I lost some evals doing that. I do have a feeling the exchange sack was probably okay. Because in a locked structure, like in a very, very locked structure, there's only the one open file. Like they were going to have to make some pawn pushes to actually even do anything. It's funny, like it does go -2 here. It's obviously bad. But like, to me, it felt okay. Yes. So they take a take back. So it is still better for black here. I just figured though that it'd be really hard for them to break through. But probably they have to do stuff over here actually. Yeah, I think after allowing, okay, here, this was the move I think that lost them as well. Like computer, that's what computer says. But I also kind of agreed because it did just give me so many tactics. Now they kind of stuck a little bit. If they ever go like this, they basically walked into a pin. They walked into some shenanigans. Like this is not actually threatened, but they wanted to move their queen. Yeah, they just got to move the king, I think. I don't know if it's a bit risky going h7 though. Anyway, so I took because I wanted to, you know, the idea was literally just this, and probably just win this guy. That was most likely what I was going to do, and then after king takes, I, probably go something like this. That was apparently wrong. Anyway, once they let me get a4, I honestly just thought this was going to be pretty easily winning. Definitely after like rook c1, I just didn't see how they were going to break through. b3 was just a waiting move, by the way. It just kind of looked nice. I wasn't sure what they were going to get up to. I was waiting for them to blunder. I could have gone rook c6 right away, but I didn't want to go rook c6 after rook b6. I didn't really want to give them an open file for nothing either. Because then they might have a check. I'm not even sure. I really don't think they played like f500 though. I mean, I do also recognize the picture, but I'm not sure if that's from something else or not. If it's a different user, or if it's a well-known picture, probably is. Yeah, here, okay, the end game I guess is where a lot of stronger players are usually going to win anyway. At this stage, it's one of those things I have a feeling they probably assumed I have to take maybe. If I take, it's not as good for me probably. It's still winning though. And then, yes, I just push and just setting up a little mating threat. I knew after I pushed they were going to have to try to stop it. But yeah, I think they just missed the main one. But good game to them, honestly. Good game.